There's also one more Telcall contribution that we can talk about that is a bit interesting. We have AWS Lambda. I was really banging my head against the wall, trying to figure out like what's an elegant way to do this. I actually ended up using Terraform to create a deployment, which is a super useful tool, not only if you want to like set up your project for yourself, but also if you want to allow someone else to set up your project as a part of their own deployment. So what this does, it's basically just a Terraform file. If you wanted to deploy Telcall on AWS, this is the only repo that you need to clone. And the only thing that you need to have installed is Terraform. Because what it actually does is it pulls the latest Lambda build from the Telcall GitHub releases page. So you don't need to really build anything on your own. You just get the Telcall binary from the releases, which is pretty cool. And it also gives you auto updating. If you update the project, Terraform just detects that you have a newer release of Telcall than the one that was last deployed. It just downloads it again, reconstructs the zip, and puts it on AWS. Terraform is really just a super useful tool to ship stuff that has great DX. Infrastructure as code is the best DX that you can give when you are trying to help people deploy stuff. If you check the Telcall releases, you can already see Telcall AWS Lambda Bootstrap. That's the Bootstrap image that gets pulled when you are deploying. We also had just an issue of, okay, how are we going to configure Telcall? Because Telcall needs a configuration. What I actually ended up doing is if you go to AWS Lambda, you can see that it's actually read from just a local file on the Lambda machine. What I actually ended up finding most convenient is bundling this config file with the image itself. That allows you to not really need to go to like some AWS panel and upload your config into there. You can just update your config.graphql here, and when you update it, Telcall will detect that you've changed the file. It will rebuild the bootstrap zip and it'll upload it to Lambda. Oh, Pulumi. Yeah, absolutely. Pulumi is also awesome. I ended up going with TF because it was just the thing that I had most experience with. I think it's definitely something that multiple of these infrastructure as code solutions can do. And I think the best thing would be to implement all of them. So if you are already using an infrastructure as code project, then you can just choose the one that's written in the same thing and you can sort of like intertwine it with what you are already deploying.